So we got the history in Warhammer, the Romans. I didn't even know the Romans was in Warhammer, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know if this is about 40k or fantasy. We all know PancreasNoWork. He likes to talk about 40k and fantasy. So we'll see what this is about. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel on the road to 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year, bro. I think we can actually push there and do it. So hopefully, you can help your boy out. Other than that, let's go.
It's gonna be all about, huh? This silly internet man is gonna tell us how the Imperium of Man is just Rome in space. Yeah, you'd like that, you wouldn't. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you, you rat?
Why he talking to us like this? Hold up, yo. Hold up, yo. What's going on? What's going on? Hold up. I was just about to drink some water. Hold up. What's going on, y'all? Let me know what's going on. Hey, listen. Why he talking dirty to us like this, bro? Like, why he, yeah. And guess what? Before we even continue on, when he was talking dirty to us, I suddenly, I don't know if y'all saw it, but like, you can go back in the video and see. I suddenly looked up at the camera because I know when he was talking like this, I know some of y'all toe was curled. So that let me know that y'all like this. Y'all like whenever PancreasNoWork talk like this. This caught me off guard.
Maybe I don't want to talk about the Catholic space Nazis, huh? Maybe I want to talk about something else instead. Maybe instead of talking about the Adeptus Copyrightus and Spaces, that's the Imperium, I want to talk about the funny little short guys with beards and axes to grind. What are you gonna do then, huh? Yeah, that's right. Today I'm talking about how the Roman Empire influenced the dwarfs of Warhammer Fantasy. That's right. No space soldiers for you today. Alright, I'll talk about the space guys too. Anyways, the Roman Empire. You know what it is, don't say you don't. Arguably the world's most influential civilization for a variety of reasons. Also something Europe has been trying to recreate in one form or another for the last 1500 years. Sometimes kind of successfully, sometimes with some hiccups, and sometimes you get Mussolini the clown and whatever the hell he was doing. And on occasion, someone tries to create a version of it in fiction. And thus did we get the Imperium of Man. If you've ever looked at any Warhammer 40k content, then you could tell they're based on the Romans. I mean, look at the language of High Gothic. Astra Militarum, Adeptus Astartes, Adeptus Mechanicus, it's all in Latin. Or should I say it's all in discount Latin, because if GW made everything in proper Latin terminology and grammar, then they couldn't copyright stuff. I mean, you can't copyright a language after all, as hard as you might try. Don't think we forgot Spots the Space Marine, GW. I'll never forget.
Boy! Hey, let me tell y'all something, bro. First of all, bro, shout out to all the Warhammer content creators out there. Well, you know what, bro? Not even just Warhammer content creators, but bro, shout out to all of the shout out to all the content creators out there just in general. There's some content creators, like there's a very small, bit of them that's kind of grimy and they're, and you know what? It's their content and you got to respect it. Part of me, part of me respects it, but at the same time, there's some YouTubers out there, bro, who are just I don't know, the way I look at it is, bro, it can help another channel, and at the same time, it can also help you as well. Whenever, let's say, for example, reaction content, right? If I had a compilation of my funny moments or whatever, and a smaller YouTuber, or even a bigger YouTuber, but let's just say smaller YouTuber, just for example, right? If I was this really big YouTuber, right, which hopefully, I become, and I have a compilation where, it's my funny moments, whatever, and then, there's a smaller content creator, it's a smaller YouTuber / streamer, whatever, and they react to a video of me, funny moments or whatever, right, for example. Bro, that's like me being grimy and going to their channel to copyright them. I've already made it. Maybe that's just my mindset. But bro, I already made it. I already got my bread. I've already made it. Especially if I'm the bigger content creator. Why do I need to go there and copyright strike this smaller YouTuber? It makes no sense to me. I feel like that's just. And then listen, I understand. Okay, whatever. It has my face in it or whatever. But why would I? Even though technically I can do that, I can copyright, I can do whatever. But why would I want to do that, bro? It can help out this smaller content creator, and it can also help me out for people who've never seen my face before. It's a win-win. I never understood people so fixated on the copyright thing. Now I can see if the guy just sat there and just watched the video and didn't say nothing. Okay, then I can see that. But if he's actually reacting and he's trying to transform the content and he's talking or whatever, bro, why would I need to? This is what I'm saying, bro. Shout out to most YouTubers out there, bro, who don't really copyright like that, bro. Y'all are real, y'all real ones, bro. The other ones, who be really weird about this whole copyright thing, they're whatever. It's just bro, Games Workshop They do not play. Now, thank goodness I haven't, I haven't, I haven't had those Game Workshop, black trucks pull up to the front of the, pull up to the front of the house to confront me. But boy, yo, I've heard so many things about Games Workshop copyrighted and all that, bro. It's ridiculous, y'all. Games Workshop do not play. They will pull up on you, bro. You could be walking to the store, bro. They will turn your smile upside down, fast too, y'all. It's crazy.
So anyways, yeah, Latin, the language Rome spaked and the language the Imperium wholeheartedly ripped off, and a whole lot more, of course. The ruler of the Imperium is nominally the Emperor, which, Rome had emperors when it was an empire. Now there's a twist. And the High Lords are a rough equivalent of the Senate. Did you know there's actually dozens of High Lords in the Imperium? There's a whole governing body of them. They have big meetings and everything just like the Roman Senate. And also just like the Romans, they're all massively, unbelievably corrupt. True, the Imperium never sold the position of Emperor off to the highest bidder, but I imagine that's less because none of them wanted to, and more because if you try and kill the Emperor, the best case scenario is death by custodes, and the worst is you've just opened a new gaping asshole in reality. How's that for mental imagery?
I mean, that's a lose-lose no matter what. It's GG's no matter what. Like,
interestingly, the Roman emperors also used to claim divine heritage, if not outright being a god themselves, which sort of makes them the god emperor on Earth. Just like the Warhammer one, huh? Of course, he has a little bit more backing when people claim he's a god, given that he is one. Although that itself is also a contrast to Rome, because Olympia never wanted to be worshipped as a god, and indeed hated religion, which backfired immensely, but it's still neat. The Space
That's what I'm saying.
Of 30k during the Great Crusade also used to be organized in legions, which is, again, another obvious copy and paste from Rome. It gets really obvious when you look at the Ultramarines. I know people forget it sometimes, but they were originally supposed to be Romans in space even more than the rest of the Imperium, not just Mary Sue's and power armor. I mean, look at this. That's just Alexander the Great leading a Roman legion. Plus their constant...
Wait, what?
Mary Sue's and power armor. I mean, look at this.
Wait, y'all, is this an actual thing? That actually looks like Alexander the Great. Y'all, speaking of Alexander the Great, bro, for some weird reason, I looked on the internet and I was like, yo, like, what's like the most expensive like funeral ever? Bro, they said Alexander the Great, bro. They said it was like $600 million. $600 million?
That's just Alexander the Great leading a Roman legion. Plus their concept of adaptability mirrors Rome's. You can wrongfoot them once, but they're going to figure out what went wrong and come back for round 2 stronger than ever. Unless you're the Germans, then they realize you aren't worth the effort and leave you with your shit forest to claim victory over. There's also the Gothic architecture that the Imperium is littered with, which is itself inspired by Roman architecture, so that's another layer of inspiration for your inspiration. But you know what? This is a lot of surface level stuff. Like, yeah, of course when you hear the word legion you think of Rome. That was their military, the Roman legions. But there's actually a lot of interesting examples of the Imperium taking inspiration from the Romans that not as many people talk about. The Great Crusade itself, for example. When you hear the term Great Crusade, you probably think of massive battles in the name of a higher power or greater cause, and sure enough, there are plenty of those happening. But many Primarchs like Guilliman, Lorgar, and Horus used diplomacy to bring worlds into the Imperial fold. Sure, if they said no, then it was time to rain hellfire down on them, but that's what the Romans did too. If you said yes, then congratulations, welcome to Rome, here's your aqueduct. But if you said no, then it was time to break out the crosses and show the world that you too can be like the Son of God in ways you probably never
No, nobody can. Sorry. No. There is no you too. Sorry, bro. Sorry. I'm sorry, but like, let's just clear this up. I know, like, we joke, troll, and all that. He's one of one. There's none of these Warhammer bums, respectfully. Not even Vulcan. Yeah, I said it. None of these Warhammer bums or even Vulcan or anybody can be comparable to the GOAT. This is literally one of one. Everybody else, beneath. What do we? No, there is no YouTube. As a matter of fact, we're skipping all that. No.
Republican years. For reference, the Romans used to, in times of crisis, elevate someone to a position of supreme power. This was to cut through bureaucratic red tape, because when the barbarians are at the gates, there's no...
I mean, this actually looks... Is he wearing a skirt in 2025? Wowzers. Okay, but first of all, I was really about to say, I would wear this, but like, I ain't wearing no skirt. I'll keep it real. The gold with the pink/purple, whatever, goes hard. I gotta put some pants on. Bro, I don't care what. Yo, I gotta put some pants on.
No time to fill out the forms at the DMV. Someone just gotta go out there and get shit done. When the crisis was over, the dictator would step down and normal procedures would return. Now, of course, the emperor never stepped down, but that wasn't because he didn't want to eventually. Remember, he said that his imperium was for humanity to be ruled by humanity. If he wanted to retain unlimited power forever, why would he set up positions of power for mortal humans or allow them control over Horus after his promotion to War Master? It's possible that if the emperor's dreams came to fruition, he too would one day step down from power once he felt the crisis was averted and that mankind was no longer in danger. If not completely, then at least to an extent that he was in charge more in name than for practical reasons. Maybe start a nice farm like Cincinnatus did when he was finished being dictator of Rome. As for the Primarchs, it's possible they themselves could be considered consuls of a sort, though that might be stretching it a bit. During the Republic, the Romans would elect 2 consuls to rule. They both had massive amounts of power, but they could each veto each other and only served 1 year before another pair of Romans was elected. And the Senate still had plenty of power itself, so it wasn't a tyranny of 2. If there was a war, one could go off to fight battles, while the other could remain home to handle administrative duties. While the Primarchs certainly weren't voted in, being God's test tube babies and all, they did have a large amount of power that imperial politicians back home could still influence with their own. They handled joint military and administrative duties.
Man, yo, I'll keep it real. If I was a Primarch, bro, and I had like a little politician or whatever that was like ruling over like my world or whatever, bro. If I liked a certain politician, I'm moving things in my favor. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm rigging everything. Hey, if I'm a Primarch and literally nobody on my planet can stop me, GG's. Bro, anything that I want, bro, any politician or any president or any whatever that I want to vote for, bro, I'm rigging, bro. I don't care. Yo, if I like a president that nobody else likes, but I really think that he's like the best for this job, bro, I don't care how many what was it called? I don't care how many ballots go through the mail or whatever. I'm gonna be right there with my sword. I'm gonna be right there with my sword like these. Just making sure that the person that's counting up the votes or whatever, bro, is throwing out the ones that's not the president that I'm going for. Bro, by the time we get a hearing on who the new president is, by the time everybody tunes in, yo, it's gonna be a landslide. Think about, oh, what happened to so and so's votes? Oh, well, don't worry about that, bro. Yeah, don't worry about that. You heard what I just said. Don't worry about it. Oh, but what happened to what? What? Huh? What do you mean? What happened? What are you trying to ask me right now? Like, why are you trying to irritate me? Like, I would get so like, bro, I would rate things in my favor. Like that's what I would do. Genuinely, y'all. Like, no, it's not. It's not funny. It's not funny, yo. But I'm just saying, bro. If I was a Primarch and nobody could literally touch me, GG's, bro. I'm winning everything. Like I'm Tom Brady.
Given that several
I'm winning everything.
The worlds they subjugated would be
literally
before moving on, and the emperor did eventually plan for them to retire from commanding duties to let regular humans take over. Whether or not they would be allowed to into official retirement like the Romans or straight up murdered is for debate and varies between Primarch to Primarch. Looking at you, Angron. But they were going to step down eventually either way. This could be a bit of a stretch though, like I said. Also, none of the Roman consuls were wizards, at least as far as archaeology can tell us, which is a shame. The Imperium's legal system too is influenced by the Romans, though perhaps more by the Byzantine codification of it than the original Roman empires. Of course, the Byzantines were just the Romans, so that point is kinda moot. And to me, the biggest way the Imperium mirrors Rome is how despite going through numerous crises that should have wiped it out, it's held strong. Rome should have fallen apart several times. I mean, when your head general marches into your capital to assume total control only to later be stabbed to death, your country probably isn't doing so hot. And when it erupts into civil war every time the emperor looks the other way, it really shouldn't last past the afternoon. Julius Caesar, the crisis of the 3rd century, the Huns, Rome should have fallen long before it did, but it always adapted. When it became just a bit too corrupt for even the most awful senator to bear, someone like Aurelian would rise up and start fixing shit. When it shattered like glass into civil wars, someone would manage to come out on top and bring it back together. When it became too big to manage, they just cut it in half to ease the burden. Rome managed to hold on for far longer than could be reasonably expected.
Really? Bro, I didn't even learn this in history class, bruh. Wow. That's hard.
The Imperium, too, is well past its expiration date, but like Rome, it keeps chugging along. Look at the time periods of imperial history. You can see it has ups and downs that should have ended it, but
you know what? But here's the thing. I feel like the Imperium and Rome and all that, I feel like if there's not a threat that can take them out, if there's not a threat that can take the Imperium or like Rome or whatever out in one fellow swoop, then I feel like it's gonna be really hard to take like, you know, the Imperium or Rome down. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, well, I don't know if Rome's is I'm pretty sure Rome is still a place, right? Rome, is it, or is it not a place? That American education, y'all, my bad. But I don't know if it is or it I don't know if it is or isn't, but you get what I'm saying. Like, for an army or for a dynasty like that big, I'm talking about the Imperium and Rome. You got to knock it off in one fellow swoop. There's no, oh, we're gonna do little by little by. No, 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 no. You got to knock it off one big attack or one fellow swoop. You can't like try to do it little by little, because I feel like if you try to get it out, if you knock it off by like one fellow battle or one fellow swoop or one war or whatever, and there's like a decisive winner and loser, whether it's like the Imperium or you know, Rome or whatever, at the end of the day, you know, it's a clear winner or loser. But I feel like if you try to do it little by little, bro, then I feel like it can kind of like spread, if that makes sense. You know, I feel like the Imperium, like the reason the Imperium they're still kicking, bro, is because even though like they're down bad or whatever, like they're kind of still important to like the setting. They're really important to like, you know, Warhammer, stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Games Workshop is well, I can never see them writing the Imperium up. I just can never see that, y'all. Maybe like, comment down below. What do y'all think about this one? I've been stuttering all day. I don't know why. Maybe, you know, it's because my mouth was dry. That's usually whenever I stutter. But listen, comment down below. Like, what do you guys think like it takes for the Imperium to like go in one, like just in general?
Come back together. The Horus.
I'm over here stuttering crazy, bro. Stuttering Stacy. I gotta lubricate my mouth. Pause. Capital P.
Heresy probably should have ended it then and there, but it kept going strong, and after that there's a time of rebirth in the forging, where despite plenty of issues, the Imperium is coming out on top and better than it was after the heresy. The Nova Terra Interregnum, god what a stupid name, mirrors the crisis of the 3rd century, and probably should have also killed the Imperium, but it still kept going, though weaker than before this time. Same with the Age of Apostasy and the Waning. You can clearly see it's weakening, but mankind is still going forward. By the time of ending, which was where 40k was before Kata got rocked like a hurricane, the Imperium was much like Rome before the East-West split. Clearly it's falling apart and the capital sucks, but some places are still shining beacons of glory, much like Rome to Constantinople or indeed Terra to Macragge. And we finally get to where we are now in 40k. The Imperium is split between the parts where the Astronomicon shines.
Hey yo, what's this purple stuff right here? Oh, this is the warp. Wait, this is the warp, yo. So why is it? Oh, hell no, bro. Yeah, no lie, bro. Nukes got to be dropped everywhere with a warp's at. I'm sorry. And if that means that 80% of all these places are GGs, drop them. Drop them right now. The nuke got to take out 80%. Yo, this whole thing looks like an Uncrustable with too much jelly.
We get to where we are now in 40k. The Imperium is split between the parts where the Astronomicon shines, which is where its hope of continuing on lies, and the Dark Imperium, where it's pretty clearly falling apart and just needs one good kick before it does. Exactly the same as the Eastern and Western Roman empires, just with more rape demons. But you know what? The Imperium isn't the only way Games Workshop took inspiration from Rome. In fact, it wasn't even the first way. No, believe it or not, that honor belongs to the dwarfs of fantasy. Now, of course, before you say it, there's the...
Before I say what? That their drip is abysmal? Ew. Oh my god. Yo, their drip is nasty. Yo, their clothes are ew. Brown with blue with gold on? Yo, they need to be like. Never mind, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that.
They take inspiration from.
I'm not gonna say that.
Dwarfs.
Nope,
just
too
copy
far.
and paste the Lord of the Rings, and your workday is done. Go take a mini lunch. But while they are just Tolkien ripoff number whatever, they take a surprising amount of inspiration from the Romans too, which is shocking because when I think of dwarfs, I think of angry bearded alcoholics. But it's true. First off, the dwarfs fill a role of the Romans as a precursor civilization to the modern day of the setting. For Europe, Rome has influenced pretty much every culture in some way, shape, or form. I mean, the Romance languages have it in their name. Romance. It's given its architecture, culture, government, you name it. And it's very much the same for Warhammer, just the dwarfs are still around as opposed to the Romans. The dwarfs gave humanity, or at least the Empire, the basis of nearly everything it has. Technology, materials, hell, even early human language was based on the dwarf language, Khazalid.
But I feel like the only thing that like Rome was missing that was really detrimental to like their success, like to even more success, the one thing that they were missing was me, y'all. I really could. I like me personally, y'all. I really feel like I could have easily like boosted up the economy and like I really could put more money in people's like pockets. Like taxes. Like what are those? Like come on, man. Like bro, I would have fought against taxes. Y'all know me. Like I'm such an amazing leader, y'all. Like I really feel like I could have brought something new to all the neighborhoods and cities and towns and all that in the Roman Empire. But I mean they missed their chance.
It may be a language that sends me into rage when Barton says something utterly incomprehensible instead of just saying the words gas rat that way, but it's still a language they gave nonetheless. The most interesting bit of this is that in the Empire, all of the holy texts are in ancient Ghazalid, just like how the Bible was written in Latin for the longest time. And in much the same way, a huge amount of European cities like London were built on old Roman forts or towns, many of the Empire cities were built on old dwarven ruins, or at least near their holds. Of course, the dwarfs also take after Rome in a much less fortunate way for them. They're sort of like a quasi-Byzantine empire. Granted, the dwarfs never split in half to eat.
Yo, no lie, bro. I'm throwing a C4 in bro's mouth. I'm throwing a C4 in this creature's mouth right here, bro. I'm sorry if that's a little graphic for everybody that's watching YouTube. I'm talking about GTA, by the way. I don't want no yellow mark. Please, YouTube. It's November. Come on, man. You know what that means. It's November. We all trying to. Hey, we all trying to elevate here. This is when YouTubers make the most bread. Come on, don't yellow mark me, please, YouTube. Yo, I've been on your good side all year long. 2025 has been it's been an amazing year for me. Come on, YouTube, just chill out. You don't gotta take everything to heart. But listen, no lie, bro. I'm throwing a straight, bro. I'm switching to my C4, my weapon wheel, and I'm throwing a C4 in him, bro.
Is an administrative burden, but much like Rome towards the end, they're a shadow of their former glory. They're constantly under attack from outside forces. Little by little, the borders shrink and more holds fall to the scum of the earth, like Skaven, Greenskins, and worst of all, giant toads causing the tectonic plates to shift.
Look at him. He's such a freak. And yo, those Skaven, y'all cannot convince me those are not from the deepest, darkest, nastiest alley from New York. Y'all can't convince me, bro. Those Skaven, bro, those are giant rats with muscles. How do they get muscles in the first place? All they do is eat. That's number one. Number two, he looks absolutely atrocious. He looks hideous, nasty, diabolical, ill. Put your tongue back in your mouth. What you got your tongue out for? The girls are not loving this, every time a woman looks at him, she screams. Like she legit runs away. For real, bro. Like this is nasty, bro. He looks like I don't want to roast him too bad, but like, man, like, put your tongue back in your mouth. Nobody want to see that. How you how your body big? How you a big back, but you got small hands? What are we doing? Like, man, you could tell. Look at this. He only has 4 fingers. You know how much of a big back you are to eat so much food, but then accidentally eat one of your fingers and not notice. Yeah, bro. Big back central, bro.
Truly, the Warhammer fantasy world was a place of great evil. The positioning of what's left of most of the dwarfs also kind of mirrors where the Byzantines were located geographically. The Byzantines were located in the eastern half of the Roman Empire, and the dwarfs are located in the eastern half of not Europe. Of course, there are ways they differ. The dwarfs have good relationships with Sigmar's empire, seeing them as good allies and friends, despite the fact that they're shoddily made human beings. The Byzantines and the Holy Roman Empire, well, they could have hated each other more, I guess. Certainly wasn't friendly.
Where's the United States of America? The best city in the world. Where are we at, yo? Where we at? Austria. Oh, snap. Is this England, yo? This is England. Trier. Let's see. Yo, where's Mexico? Where's Mexico? Where's Canada? Where's Argentina? Yo, where's the United States of America, yo? Where we at? Amber. Oh! Is this us? I don't think that's us. Oh, Frankfurt! Wait, isn't Frankfurt in Germany? Oh, no. Oh, Yemen! Oh, sorry, Yurden! Oh, Massachusetts!
but they weren't actively
Yo,
genociding
let's
each other.
go,
On
bruh.
occasion, there was a very tense deal worked out between the two powers. Either way, much frostier relations than the Empire of Man and the dwarfs. However, this and other differences, like how the dwarfs never had a major religious change and eventually schism, doesn't seem like GW not doing their history right. Feels more like they're actually making something unique and creative. Or at least taking the time to rip off Tolkien some more instead of real life. So there we have it, how Rome influenced not only Warhammer 40k, but also Warhammer Fantasy. Isn't it crazy how much mileage you can get out of a single topic? All it takes is...
True. Shout out to PancreasNoWork. Bro, I've been messing up all day, man. Today was one of my off days, but we still got our videos up. My bad, y'all, for the stuttering, for the mishaps, for all that, man. I've been off my game today, but my bad, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate y'all, man. And I'm gonna go get this video up, and then I'm gonna go take a nap because I've been stuttering all day, and my videos. I know a lot of y'all's like, yo, bro, you've been stuttering Stacy all day long. Like, bro, I'm stuttering right now. What's going on? Other than that, man, peace out, y'all.